In 1949 at the Iwajiku ruins in Midori, Gunma, a chipped stone tool was found from the Kanto Loam Formation. It was the discovery of the Paleolithic era. With this as a start, other ruins of the Paleolithic era were successively discovered throughout Japan. Aizawa Tadahiro, known as the discoverer of the ruins, spent his childhood in the historic city Kamakura. At that time, he lived in the east side of Kamakura where there was Jyomyoji around there. One day, his father, who was a traditional instruments performer of kabuki, left the house for tour of Kyushu, and he started living with his mother and his 4 siblings. Around this period, his peaceful time with his family started to be broken. One of the turning points was his younger sister's death. Her dying of cold deterioration made his life gloomy. His parents divorced, and left him in the care of Sugimoto Dera. Around that time, Japan was in the midst of being urged into war, and Kamakura near Yokosuka, the naval port, was frequently being constructed buildings which related to army forces. He got interested in chips of earthenware excavated from the construction sites. In ancient times, fathers left for hunting, mothers made earthenware. They sat down around campfire at night, and talked about what they saw that day. He thought of a happy life like that. In this way, he started to hold special emotion to ruins and relics as if to make up for his loneliness. However, the time to leave Kamakura had come. His father said he was moving to Kiryu, Gunma together with Mr. Aizawa. Then, he stayed in Kiryu City for a while, but started working at a shoe shop in Asakusa right away. He was still longing for the ancient times, so he often visited Tokyo Imperial Museum, which is today's Tokyo National Museum. And he got his acquaintances show their earthenware for him. Although as years went by, the war was getting accelerated, and he decided to apply for the Navy. He finally joined the Marine Corps. After the exam at the Tokyo Bay, he left port for Seto Island Sea where the training camp was, and arrived in Kure, Hiroshima, but the 6th of August had come. The destroyer Tsuda he boarded at that time had been modified to a naval vessel loaded Kaiten, the manned torpedo. Moved to Yashirojima, Yamaguchi, and was prepared for departing. He heard the bomb was dropped in Hiroshima, and was thinking it's time to depart. But after a few days, he listened to the Jewel Voice broadcast after all. It's the end of a war. Because of that, he went back to Kiryu, and spent his life as a peddler. He visited several villages on business. One day, on the way home, he went through a road made by cutting a hill called Kiridoshi in general. There were cliffs on both sides of there, and he found a red clay in the layers. That was the Kanto Loam Formation. This formation is soil which consists of piled volcanic ash from volcanoes around Kanto region, which is oxidized and changed to red through years. He picked up a tiny piece of stone from the formation. This tiny stone from the red clay cliffs tempted him into the bottom of archaeology. It was thought that humans were not living in the period of that formation, and stone tools couldn't be excavated. This theory was ordinary at that time, so he struggled with how he would explain that tiny stone. If there were stone tools, humans must be living, and if humans were living, earthenware should be found. It can be, but no earthenware would be excavated. How many times he investigated there, only pieces of stone were excavated but no earthenware. I do want to have an idea of the early Jomon period. He had contact with researchers in Tokyo under the impulse of his heart. He continued archaeology like this, but that red clay formation was special. He worked simultaneously on investigating ruins and carrying on other businesses, while investigating the red clay formation by himself. He couldn't see any earthenware after all, and only tiny stones like the remains of handmade stone tools were found. Perhaps there used to be ancestors who didn't use earthenware but only for stone tools? He gradually started thinking like this. At such time, he had found this obsidian projectile point. I think some people might have seen that in a textbook. This discovery convinced him that there was a period when people had used only stone tools without earthenware. He reported that discovery to the researchers in Tokyo, and thorough excavation of the red clay formation had finally started. The cliffs with the red clay layer were the Paleolithic age when the people had used only stone tools without earth, and where it was discovered is known as the name Iwajuku ruins today. Mr. Izawa is known as not only a person who discovered Iwajuku ruins but also the discoverer of the Paleolithic age, and his name is widely passed down even today.